I think we're ready to go. Shout, Wings of Hope, number 3.
Yep. Yep. Little last minute. Yes, we are ready. How about some breathing, and then we'll hear from Adamus.
Okay, are you ready for Adamus? All righty then. So, with that, breathe in that exhilarating energy and take the good deep breath. That breath of life. Breathing into you. All the sparkle and beauty surrounds us. Breathe it in. Let it be. Flow with the energies. Feel it with each breath. Oh, yes, Adamus is here. Breathe him in if you dare. Oh, yes, he invites it regularly. So, Jeff is there, breathing, bringing in Adamus. Let's stay with that good deep breath as we move forward. Here we go.
I am that I am. Adamus of Sovereign Domain. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to our December Shout. Welcome to this great gathering of Shaumbra. Oh, what an audience here. All excited? No. I sense some nervousness. I sense some holding back, like, what is Adamus going to do to us today? Who, me? I'm going to be kind and gentle.
Oh, yeah.
Sweet. Well, I do have some bad news, though. I'm sorry to start out like this. Normally you don't jump into a big monthly shout with bad news, but I've got it today. The bad news is, believe it or not, that we, the Ascended Masters, don't know everything. Well, I don't think that's funny. Does anybody else think it's funny? Is anybody else laughing? I don't think it's all that funny. No, we don't. We don't. And it kind of surprises me sometimes that Shaumbra think that we know everything. Like what's coming up next. Things can be going along in a certain direction and take a very fast turn at the last possible moment. It happens all the time now. We don't know what it's like to be going into Love 2.0. We don't. We've got our theories. We could talk about it. We can channel it. But believe it or not, we as Ascended Masters have not experienced it. You're the ones experiencing it. We don't know what it's like to go from our biological body into a light body while the biological body is still there.
Wait, is that because you just left? Is
Absolutely.
That what's... Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Now, was that smart or stupid? We'll get into that later. We don't know what it's like to have that experience of being in both the light body and the physical. As Linda kindly pointed out, we left. We walked out of the physical body. We really didn't have the opportunity to experience the light body at the same time. We don't know exactly the ultimate effects on light as it relates to what's happening on the planet. We can theorize, we talk about it up at the club, we go back and forth and discuss, but it's you who are experiencing it, who are learning. And then what we do as the Crimson Council, we gather that information, we gather you could say the experiences and the wisdom, and then use that for teaching in other realms, or for coming back and teaching other humans here. But we haven't done that. We don't know all the answers. I was going to say I don't know, but we don't know all the answers. That's why you're here. I want you to take a moment to feel into that. I think sometimes you have this concept that we know all these things, and then it's up to you to have to learn it for yourself. You're the ones, the pioneers that are here learning this, learning what it's like to be in the true and. We don't really know that. We were human one moment, boof, next moment we're Ascended Masters. I'm not diminishing the role of ascended masters. We're awesome. We are so incredible. You couldn't begin to imagine, but we're not going through what you are. We're not going through the level of transitions and releases of the body and the mind in particular that you're going through. Not at all. You're learning, you're experiencing what it's like now to really go beyond the mind, something that you've all feared for a long time, going beyond the mind. You've all worried this lifetime and others that you're going to get put into an institution for what was going on inside there. And you've been battling it, suppressing it. And now you're being encouraged, almost forced by me and the others to go beyond that mind because there's so much more beyond there. We never did that. So we're great theorists in many ways, great at saying, okay, what are the energy dynamics? I love working with all Shaumbra on the metaphysics, what's really happening. But ultimately, it's you, the ones that are actually doing it. And that's the bad news. The bad news is I think sometimes you want to believe that we know everything and we see into the future. We do see into the future, but it can instantly change. It can turn on a dime. You saw it happen in the recent elections in the United States. Things were going in one direction very, very quickly. In a matter of less than 2 weeks prior to the elections, everything started to shift. We don't have all the answers, nor actually would I want to. I don't want to have that. Don't want to have it where you're basically like lab rats and you're just having to go and learn like what we've learned. You're the explorers. You're the ones who are creating all this new stuff. You're creating the very things that others are going to be studying. But we haven't gone through it. We've gone through a lot. And we're here to guide you and support you and to kind of explain things on an overview basis so you have an understanding of why you're going through what you do. But you are the ones on the first line. You're the ones out there doing it. So would you please take a moment and acknowledge yourself, what you're doing. And I know, Lord, do I know, that you don't acknowledge yourself. My daytimes are my easy times. I've got a night job because dealing with you, all these calls, all these, oh, Adamus, you said this, and what should I do about that? We stay very, very busy at night. And I just would love so much if you could see yourselves as I and the other ascended masters see you. We're cheering for you. We're rooting for you. There's never negativity like, oh, they don't know what they're doing and well, there is for me, but they're holding back. Not at all. It's this great sense of honor for you, the masters, because of what you're doing, what you're going through. What you're going through is I mean, you know it to an extent, but it's unprecedented. What you're doing to your body and your mind and your past lives and everything. What you're doing is truly amazing. And for the most part, you're staying intact. I guess that's the most amazing part of all. They're doing a pretty good job, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you? Are you holding it together?
Some days better than others.
Yeah. And, sometimes you think, well, what's wrong with me? I just, I'm losing it and, just can't cope with things. Based on what you're going through, it's amazing that you have held it together. Let's take a deep breath with that in honor of what you're doing. We don't have all the answers. Sometimes we pretend we do, but we really don't. We can help you from a guidance standpoint, help you to see some of the things that are in your blind spots, but you're the ones doing it. You're the ones that are affecting this greatest change on the planet. It's a sweeping change. It's not like any other lifetime you've ever had. And to add to it all, while you're going through all this, I'm going to ask you to feel into it. While you're going through all this, all your past lives are also going into their realization. They don't understand what's going on. They don't have the the discussions like what we have, but they're going through their releasing, their challenges, they're coming to realization. And you're kind of the leader of the pack for them. You're the inspiration. You, from now, are going back to visit them in the past to try to tell them it's going to be okay. All this is happening right now. All this is happening in your everyday life, and you wonder sometimes why you're feeling the intense pressure, why you're feeling you might be losing it. So I wanted to start out with bad news. The rest of it is all good, all good. I would like to acknowledge a couple of wonderful, well, they're not even guests today. They're wonderful friends. They wouldn't miss a holiday celebration like this for anything. We've got FM.
Oh.
And, yeah. And Sart. And, yeah, Sart.
Yeah.
You forget Sart. I'm sorry. They already forgot about you.
Remember that T-shirt?
Yeah. And Edith. They won't miss this for anything. And also Carolyn is with us today. So let's take a deep breath. Welcome all of them. They want the party. They want the party. So I also want to welcome all the new ones that have been tuning into Crimson Circle for the past, let's say, 6 months to a year. A lot of new ones coming in.
Yeah.
I've got Burik Caldra out on the circuit doing these interviews, and he's taking the wrath for things I say, but that's okay. He signed up for it. But it's bringing in a lot of new ones. Oh, a lot of the listeners don't like it at all, but there's some it kind of hits the spot. They hear something. They hear they hear themselves is what they hear, and then they come into Crimson Circle, learning more, trying more. How many of you here today in the audience have been here only since 2024? Couple, good. Yeah. Couple, you can raise your hands. It's okay. So very quickly, I want to go have Linda take the microphone, go around the room. What would you tell the newcomers to Crimson Circle about Crimson Circle? What would you tell them? So Linda, please.
Okay. I'm volunteers, right?
Yeah, volunteers. And let's keep this, remember, keep it distilled, keep it relatively simple. Go ahead.
What is said is a real reflection of yourself.
You'd say that to the new ones?
Yes.
Okay. And they say, what the hell does that mean? No, I'm serious. You have to really explain it to them. Like, okay, what does that mean now?
Really
Put it in real terms.
Put your 5-point harness on.
Yeah, but
and
still,
be ready. Yeah,
be ready.
Because everything that's being discussed is a reflection of what you are going through, what you have been going through, what you will be going through.
Okay.
Really, you are hearing yourself and you are remembering yourself with what is being said.
So yeah, it's your energy that you're hearing. So in spite of the fact that it's a large organization and a lot of other people, ultimately you're going to hear yourself.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Great. What would you tell people about Crimson Circle? They're new. They heard something on one of these podcasts. They go to the Crimson Circle, beautiful Crimson Circle website. Thank you, Jorge. And now they're kind of attracted. But what would you tell them?
They're in the right place.
They're in the right place.
Yes.
And what does that mean?
Everything you've been searching for, you could find it right here.
Okay.
Yes.
Great.
You could find yourself too.
Your own experience, how did you find Crimson Circle?
Watching a YouTube video, what's the name of it? It was a cartoon.
A cartoon?
Yes. And I don't remember all the details, but that's how I saw Mr. Jeffrey.
Tom and Jerry,
No,
the Flintstones, something like that.
No.
It was a cartoon about Crimson Circle?
No.
Oh.
He was doing his own stuff, no.
Okay.
But he introduced you guys at the end, and I went over and I took a look.
Ah, interesting.
Yes.
Good.
I finally found what I was looking for.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
A couple more. What would you tell people? Crimson Circle is, what, a cult? Why not? Why isn't it a cult? I mean, yes.
I was
Do you
thinking
think
on.
Crimson Circle is a cult?
No.
Damn it. Try so hard to be one, and they just won't let us. What is a cult anyway?
Well, you have to follow someone rather than following you.
Right. And when it's like Hotel California, you can check in, but,
But you
you
can
can't
never
check
check
out.
out.
Yeah. Okay, good. All right.
I told you that.
Yeah.
On those days where the train, or no, when the light, you're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, be careful. But
What
if-
is that light at the end of the tunnel?
Yeah. No, I mean, it's the train coming at you.
Right. No, but yeah, you think
But
you think it's the train, but what is it really?
You.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just feels like a freaking train.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And eventually it will clear and you will see the blue at the end of the tunnel.
Great. And to the newbie says, great. How long is this going to take? A couple months?
No.
No.
Well, no, I think the new ones will have it faster than the what do you
think?
call us, the founders?
Yeah, yeah. You think?
Yeah.
Huh? Why?
Yeah. The ones I've met seem to be more aware, more conscious.
Okay. Up to a point. You know, there's a lot to be said for those of you who have been around for a while. A lot to be said. A lot of grit. You really went through a lot. It is so deep and real within you. Everything you went through. I don't think that many of you founders, ones who've been around for a while, would want to do it the fast track way. I mean, in other words, just kind of skip over the details and think you're there. I think you had to
Go through it.
feel every part of it.
Right.
And would you suggest that to the new ones, that they get down on that gritty basis what you went through?
If they would choose to. Yeah.
If they would choose to.
Yeah.
But is it a good thing? Or is it better to just kind of get the what do you call it? The Cliff Notes version, the abridged version, quickly on your way to realization? Would you trade in your own experience?
No. Oh God, no.
No.
No, I feel that I know myself on levels that most people would never fathom.
Right. I mean, you delved into it, deeply into it.
Into it.
And it hurts it really hurts
It
at
hurts.
times. It's really, really tough. If you could just let go of one thing in all your experiences, one thing that you really wished hadn't been there.
Losing my family.
Losing your family.
Yeah.
What, did they turn on you, or did they literally depart the planet?
No. No, they turned.
Yeah, yeah.
Shunned.
Right.
Right.
Was that needed?
Yes.
Yeah, kind of. That's a tough
Yeah.
one. Yeah. Well, what else? If you could say to the new ones, they're all jazzed up and they're looking and saying, you guys, you took so long, and you went through all this hardship. I'm not going to go through that. What is the one thing that you would tell them? Okay, if you're going to do anything, just drop such and such.
That you don't know how to love yourself
Okay.
because you do know how to love yourself.
Right.
It's
Right.
trusting.
Good.
Right.
Thank you. And
Well-
thank you for honoring your own journey. Sometimes it's so easy to say, I'm just going to go back on the path, that I'm not going to do any of this anymore. But what you've accumulated along the way is tremendous depth. Tremendous. Okay. Keep going. So, how would you tell new ones about Crimson Circle?
That'd be because my experience is mine, but just be open,
Be open. Okay. Yeah.
choose wisely,
Right.
and see where it goes.
Yeah. What would you tell them about Crimson Circle as a group, though? How would you describe this group?
Some of the most interesting and people that you want to be with.
Good. Okay. What advice would you give them before they came to an event like this before they jumped in? What kind of like words of wisdom?
Just experience it.
Okay.
Try not to judge it.
Try not to judge it. Okay. Good. Thank you. A couple more. What would you tell them about Crimson Circle? You know, they've probably been with a few other groups in the past, maybe a yoga group or some type of maybe a channeling group. What would you tell them? Because Crimson Circle is not necessarily typical. What would you tell them?
Well, it is not typical, but it gives you, the camaraderie. You can identify with people that kind of are going through what you're going through, which it seems like the typical person in mass consciousness is harder to relate to.
Right.
And Crimson Circle gives us the ability to, well, first of all, realize our own sovereignty.
Right.
I don't say that word right, sorry.
Sovereignty, that's good. We knew.
Yeah. And
I thought you said sobriety, and it's like not in this.
that's what it teaches you not. You're like, it's not AA.
Right.
But the tools for me to be in the and, like we have this human experience, and how do we experience the other realms and be able to be in the world but not of it
Right. Okay.
is the greatest tool for me.
Okay. And what was one thing I asked Susan before? If you could tell them one thing just to drop it, right away before they go any further on their path, just drop it. What would that be?
It's not easy. It comes up against all your demons, all your dragons, who's really your soul.
What would you tell them to drop, though?
Oh, something you would drop.
Drop.
I'm sorry, I misunderstood that.
Right. Yeah.
Drop.
Say, the most useless thing on your journey is.
I don't know, caring what anybody else has to say.
Well, that's true too. Yeah, I think Jeff wants.
Well,
to
drop
answer
your
that.
smallness. Drop your I'm not good enough.
Okay.
Drop your.
You're skirting on it, what I have in mind, but you're almost there. Pass it to Jeff if you would.
When I was, kind of becoming a metaphysical junkie, and I came across a lot of YouTubes and came across, a lot of your interviews, the thing that I really embraced was the way you poke fun at Macchio. And that's the thing that, because I was like, I got to learn how to meditate. I got to get my crystals going. All of a sudden, I'm like,
Oh my God.
yeah, ultimately I got to be
You did that?
responsible.
Did anybody
for my,
else do that?
I didn't actually do it.
Oh, you did. Oh, okay.
I'm true Shambra. I thought about it. I never did it.
So what's the one thing to drop? You're going to tell somebody. Especially somebody coming into Crimson Circle. You got to drop this one thing.
Well, I was going to say drop Macchio, but
That's good.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But I can think of it.
And I'm very, very impressed with Shambra, particularly when we do our live workshops. I used to have to take a few drinks before I went, before I conducted a workshop, because there was so much Macchio. And it was just so thick and overly syrupy and so unfocused and just crap. Now, with all Shambra all around the world, very, very little. Very little. First of all, I think you hide it from me if you had any. But secondly, I think you've let it go. I mean, this is a real journey. And the Macchio, the distractions like alchemy. That whole thing about alchemy was just a huge distraction to get a lot of people out of the way for the real work we were doing. The whole distraction with, and I'm not going to go on a rant here. Calder is trying to stop me. I'm not going to go on a rant, but the whole distraction with aliens and UFOs and conspiracies. What is it that humans love so, or what is it even that Shambra loves so much about conspiracies? Anybody? Give it a shot. What's this conspiracy stuff all about? Yes.
Drama.
A lot of drama, yeah. Yeah. Do you get into the conspiracies? Did you get into them?
Maybe in previous lifetimes.
Yeah, not this lifetime?
I hear it and then I think you get into it and then it's like, no, I don't
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah. Good. Anybody else? Why do people get into the conspiracies? There's a lot of Macchio. And you hear it all the time. And then they have that smug conspiratorial attitude. Well, you just don't know. You don't know the people I know.
The expert from out of town.
Right. Yeah.
You don't, and also the escaping of responsibility.
Right. Blaming it on something else, putting
and
it off
somebody's going to
somewhere
come in
else.
and rescue you.
Yeah, it's a lot of drama, you know. You really get people going. It's a lot of fear, and a lot of drama, and a huge amount of Macchio, distraction. You still see it once in a while with Shaumbra, not so often, but the conspiracies, and it's the cabal, whatever they call it these days. It's the 5 rich families in the world, and so what? Even if it was, I'd say the biggest conspiracy is the church, but it's right in front of you. You drive down the street, you see 6 of them. How much of a conspiracy is that? Oh, or you could say conspiracy is the taxes. But even if there was these alien conspiracies, and they were flying these hovercraft all over, they were flying, what do you call them? Your drones all over. So what? It's not your conspiracy. It's not your problem. Let all the muggles, all the feeders rush over to that and talk about, are they aliens, or is it a foreign government, or is it just a couple of 13-year-old kids that are having a whack job fun time scaring everybody, which is probably more likely. But I'm glad you brought up the whole Macchio thing, because it's a huge distraction, and everybody does it. Everybody. You've all done it in the past. The new ones coming in are going to do it to an extent, but then you get over it, and you get back on your journey. You get back on the way, and you realize that it was just a distraction. There's no answers there whatsoever. Okay, a couple more. What would you tell us, the new ones, about Crimson Circle? How'd you tell them about this organization?
I would ask them if they are taking care of themselves.
Right.
And stop taking care of everyone else and taking care of the world. It's time to take care of yourself.
Very true statement. But what would you tell them about Crimson Circle? That we take care of you?
No.
No.
Hell no.
Hell no. What would you tell them? It was a bunch of, crazy people. It's a bunch of, what would you tell them about this group?
Do you want to step outside of what you're living in? Do you want to go beyond?
And what if they tell you yes? Are you going to believe them?
No.
No. They'll say yes.
They'll say to be.
They want just a little nicer life for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
For the most part, and I don't mean to be condescending, but it's the way it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else would you tell them about Shaumbra? What did you say about this group called Shaumbra?
Unique.
Unique.
Yes.
Words like interesting, unique. Yeah. But I mean, what did you tell them? They're compulsive. They're
No.
dedicated. They're committed.
Committed.
They should be committed.
They're committed to themselves.
Or they're committed to themselves.
Yeah.
Okay.
A commitment to oneself
Okay.
if they want to.
All right. Good. And next, thank you. What warning would you give them, Tad? What warning would you give them before?
Well, I wanted to say in the
You look lovely
beginning.
today, by the way. So festive. and-
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
much
you.
better than the boxing glove look.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
I threw those away last
I
December
know. I remember.
in the big thing.
Yeah.
In the Katumi thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, why
I want to tell him. when you
am
said
I
that.
here? I always wanted to know. It's like, this is trite, but what is the meaning of life? What am I doing here?
Mm-hmm.
And I found Crimson Circle, by accident, way back in the Tobias days.
Mm.
And I just, every, let's say, step of the way, every shout, every key, everything,
Mm-hmm.
it gave me more, oh, yeah,
that's what I'm doing here. Oh, and then the realization, and then Heaven's Cross, and then Yeshua. That was my, why it really gives, I'll say, life, my life, your life, meaning and relevance and importance. And it just,
But it hasn't always been easy.
oh, hell no.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
no, no.
not at all.
No.
Yeah.
No. But that's okay. I mean, you run into some walls and
Is it?
well, I always thought, you run in, you fall down, you cry a little bit, and you go, okay, well, I'm just going to keep going. And
Right.
and every like I said, every word out of your mouth, Adamus, and all of our friends, our colleagues and comrades, we're genuine. We're really the genuine article, and we're just it's not easy, but it's fun.
Fun. But,
Yeah.
well, kind of fun.
Kind of. I don't know.
But you channeled, or you had the right word that I would have used. If somebody is new to Crimson Circle, what do you tell them? I mean, there's so many different ways to tell a story. You tell them it's a bunch of crazies that met in the time of Yeshua, or think they met at the time of Yeshua, and they've been on this journey, and they've come back together at the time of Tobias, and now they're not only have had their realization, but they're staying on the planet to, bring light at this very important time. Yeah. But
That's
I would,
exactly what I was going to say.
yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you.
No,
for-
I'm just
Perfect.
We're
Thank
channeling each other. But the word you used, the word I would use to somebody that's new and wondering, well, what's this group about? What's the real dynamic? I'd use the word genuine,
Yeah.
like what you used. Really genuine, and it ties back into what you said about Makio. There's not a lot of Makio. It's so genuine. For, I would say, the vast, vast, vast majority of Shaumbra, it's the most important thing in their life, not Crimson Circle, but their journey, their realization, their bringing it all together in this lifetime. Nothing's more important. That's kind of tough telling your mate or partner unless they really understand that that's the most important thing to you.
Exactly.
And being genuine, being true to your own journey. But could you tell that to your partner?
Well,
Or could
Gary-
you tell them, that's the most important thing to you?
Yes.
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 And he would probably applaud you for that. Good, thank you. Right on cue. Well, when you look at it, there's a lot of times in a relationship, they're like, well, what I'm not, your partner's, I'm not the most important thing. It's like, no, actually not. Because then you're in a trap. Then they're dependent on you, you on them. Then you're really no longer on your journey anymore. The journey is the most important thing. And it's not selfish, not at all. So, good. The word I would have used, journey. Genuine.
Thank you.
Genuine. In answer to my own question, what is the one thing that you would recommend to the new ones? And quite a few coming in now. I feel that there's a lot have joined with Crimson Circle in the active part, but a lot of them still in the peripheral, kind of watching a little here and watching a little there. They're still not quite sure. They are wondering, what's this group about? And how much are the membership fees? How much, what is the tithing? What are they're literally, and perhaps, Jorge, you could try to find this out, but I sense people going in and what are the rules? They're looking for the list of rules that you have to abide by. On the internet, they're trying to find what are Crimson Circle's rules. Maybe you could do a search on it, but a lot of other people are. What is this group about? There's something I like about it, something that really scares me. What is this group about? The thing I would recommend to anybody, including you today, as they get on their journey, which you know what that's like. It's long, it's challenging, it's difficult. One thing, above all, that you really should drop, or they should drop, but they're not going to until it really hurts, is doubt. Is the doubt. Could you imagine for a moment your own journey without the doubt factor? where you're just you're following your true intuition. The mind and the brain don't generate the doubt, which they've been trained to do. You don't allow it, even if it comes in, which you're afraid to do. And so now, can you imagine just all that doubt? It doesn't mean that you're not being discerning. There's a huge difference between that doubt and discerning. Doubt is that, you know what it feels like? There's an energy to doubt, right? I mean, that you can feel. You can feel it in your body. And it's really ugly. Discerning is not like that. Discerning is a little bit more mental, thoughtful. But doubt, gets you right there. And it's a terrible thing to drag along the journey. It's been probably your worst enemy along the way. Doubting yourself. And, we have very smart Shaumbra all around the world, and they still doubt themselves. The doubt is kind of like it compresses you. It makes you really small. It's kind of a sickly, ghastly feeling. It's not good. Why do you let it keep coming back? What would you tell the new ones if they said, well, I doubt myself. I doubt, whether I'm doing the right thing or not. Why do you keep inviting it back? Anybody? Linda on the microphone. Why do you let doubt in? And don't tell me that you can't do anything about it. It's a game for whatever purpose. Why do you let it in?
For me, is this on?
Yes.
For me, it's actually strengthened my faith.
It strengthened your faith. So you've used doubt.
I've had people come to me, are you in a cult? Are you this, that? And it's like, they're in search and go, and it got me really down, like you say, that icky feeling inside.
Yeah.
And then as I continued to feel into it, it was like, whoa, that is really, really heavy. I don't feel like that when I'm feeling myself.
Yeah.
When I'm feeling light, when I feel my light.
Yeah.
And it actually has, for me, just recently that happened, and it has strengthened my faith in myself, my trust in myself, and my knowingness. So that's what it's done for me.
So it served a purpose?
It served a purpose.
Could you do without it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Could do without it. I could fly a lot higher that way without it.
Right.
But in this particular case, what it was almost like was like the last piece of the thorn that was in my side or my heart that just kind of went, oh no, I don't doubt anymore.
Yeah.
But it really hit hard.
You really can't afford to doubt anymore.
No.
But yet it's there. It's like this constant demon that's there.
It
was. And it'll tear you apart.
Yeah, it was a really tough few days.
So how do you let go of doubt?
Did a lot of breathing, some crying.
Crying, okay.
Wrote about it.
Yeah.
Went and hugged a few trees. So I was up in the mountains at this time.
Did you kiss any crystals while you were at it? Any?
I think I did bring
any
a crystal
incense
with me.
or anything like that. Doubt be gone with the incense.
I like crystals.
Like
they're very beautiful, especially the diamond ones.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, no, it served a purpose during that period of time. It strengthened my faith in myself.
Okay.
Surprisingly.
Would you recommend it to others?
Only if they choose to. It was like my dragon just came along and bit me on the butt big time.
Yeah.
Really big
time. That's what dragons are for.
Well, my dragon's a good dragon.
Butt biting, yeah.
And then we patted it and love it and say, okay, now, I got over it.
Good, great. A couple more about doubt now. How did it serve you?
So for me, I feel like doubt it's like a reminder of these unintegrated aspects that come up. It's like, oh, okay, so I've still got work to do there.
Okay.
It's like, I thought I was done with that, but there it's like rearing its ugly head again.
Right.
Because I feel like for me, it's been something that stifling. Like you said, it's like in the body, So it's like you want to take a step forward, but then there's that doubt. It's like, what is that? It's like, in here, it's like, okay, I'm certain, but there's something in the body that's like, it's like this resistance.
Yeah.
And so it's like a reminder for me. It's like, oh, okay, I've still got work to do there. I've still got to, heal that. I've still got to look at that. I've still got to integrate it.
I have to say, if you're using that approach, I still have work to do because the doubt is there and aspects are there and everything else, then you're going to have more work to do, right?
And I don't want
unless
that.
you want more work to do.
I don't. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, and I understand what you're saying is you're not going to let doubt get the best of you, but you're going to say, well, it's just telling me I have more work to do. Isn't that kind of a game?
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Yeah.
Well, you just go, doubt is one of the toughest demons, and intuitively, whatever you want to call it, on a clear basis, every one of you knows what you want to do, and where you want to go. That's foregone conclusion. But that doubt comes in, and it's the doubt of society, your family, the voices you hear in your head, your aspects, all the bad things you've ever done, and it's the doubt is the fear of what's going to happen if I do this, and it's easier to lay low. It's easier to sit on the fence rather than to do something, and that's where the doubt comes in, and it's crippling. It really is, and it's crippling literally on your body. It's really tough on your body in terms of stuck energy and eventual physical problems. But yet Shaumbra still is struggling with this problem, with the doubt. Yeah. And instead of saying, the doubt is there, so I've got more to work on, it's more like what we talked about last month, never more. And there's other ways to say it, but doubt,
be gone.
Yeah. And you can say it as rough as you want to say it, but it's a strange choice. It's an odd bedfellow that everybody falls into. You have these doubts, and imagine if you would release all doubt. Imagine what would that be like? You release all doubt about anything about yourself, and it feels good for a moment, and you're like, oh shit, then what if I do bad things? What if I do stupid things? What if I suddenly the doubt is kind of a governor or a limiter on yourself. It holds you back so you don't do stupid things or say stupid things. But ultimately, the doubt is what's stupid. I mean, I've said this over and over, but you're not going to do stupid things at this point. You're not. You're way too far along. You're not going to do unconscious things unless you're doubting yourself. Good, thank you. My point on this, thank you, dear Linda. We're done for a little bit. My point on all this is to talk about these things like doubt, because you've all experienced it. You all know what it's like. I would say it's gone beyond its useful purpose in your life. It really has. And the useful purpose is maybe you used it to kind of fit in with others. Maybe I shouldn't do something because then I'm going to be really odd. You're too far along. You're too odd. So it's too late for that. The doubt is a very, very old energy dynamic. And where things are going right now, there's no place for it. There's really not. Where what's up ahead of us, particularly in this next year, there's no place for it. It's going to really hurt if you let that doubt dictate your life. That's, I would say, one of the biggest, boldest moves a human can make is to go beyond their own doubt, to recognize it, and then say basically never more. Because now all the limits, all the inhibitors, all the things that you would think kind of hold you in and keep you kind of sane and functional, suddenly they're gone. There's no barriers anymore. There's no fences or walls or anything else. It's wide open. But on the other hand, you have to. Where we're going with all this work, with the new ones, by the way, which I thank you for being here, there's no place for the doubt. It's kind of like what's like having the brake on while you're trying to accelerate fast, and you're going to burn out your brakes. It's like going out on a marathon run and putting on an extra 50 pounds of weight on your back. There's just no place for it. everything's moving too fast right now, way too fast. The changes that you've seen this year, for instance, or let's say last couple of years, are going to be nothing compared to what comes in the next few years, particularly next year, 2025. I'm going to talk more about it in Pronost, but I want to end this year with Shaumbra by saying you got to get rid of it. I'm not politely asking; it's not a suggestion. I'm not putting it out as a soft message. You have got to get rid of it in order to really be able to understand, to cope with what comes next. There's a tremendous amount of light now on the planet, and it's come in since Heaven's Cross. There's a tremendous amount of light, you could say, all around you. And you wonder sometimes, well, where is it? Where is it? I'd say, stop doubting it and just allow it. And then it'll become very, very evident. But as fast as things are going, the doubt is like riding along on a motorcycle, on a beautiful open road somewhere, just nobody around. You're going as fast as you want to go, but then putting your legs down, putting your feet down on the ground to hold you back. Why? You say, well, I'm afraid of going too fast. Well, I know, but you are going fast. I mean, why drag your feet? Why let that doubt get in the way? It's an awful, awful feeling. And one of my bigger concerns is that it affects the physical body. It comes from the mind, but it really affects the body. It affects your energy level. It affects the natural flow of energies in the body. It creates stuck energy. Feel into the word doubt itself. And you feel into the word, whatever language you happen to use that word. Doubt, stuck energy. Slow or held back energy. And it simply has no place where we're going to be going this next year. So we're going to be somewhat taking it into Merab for just a minute, but as much light is on the planet, and what is light? Imagination. As much light is here and available now, it's you could say it's begging to be used. It's wanting to be used. It's here, it's available. It's like a full tank of gas, and it wants to now get out there, do something with and through you. Get into the metaphysics a little bit here. So you got a tremendous amount of light that's been coming in. Shaumbra gets very excited. They're like, oh, yeah, we're going to bring in all this light. But then I'm like, would you please use it? Would you please use it? Well, what if I blow something up, or what if I do the wrong thing? It's just use it. Today in Keehawk, earlier today, I talked about not only allowing, which is critical. Allowing is opening up, but then receiving, anchoring it, bringing it in, doing something with it. But I feel a tremendous amount of resistance, of doubt from Shaumbra, doubting maybe even the nature of light, doubting if you can do anything with it, if it has an effect. There's kind of a strange phenomena. You want somebody else to do it for you. You want me maybe to say, okay, here's how you use the light. No, you have to. You've got to be the one receiving it now in your life. The one thing that's going to hold you back is doubting it. Doubting whether you're really working with light. Doubting what you can do with it. Doubting yourself. Are you capable of handling it? So often you think of light in terms of power, and it's not. So in a way, you're afraid of the light because it's like, whoa, this is a lot of power coming in. It's not power. You don't have to be afraid of it. It's a lot of things. It's clarity. It's imagination. It's tremendous potentials, but it's not a power. It's not a force at all. I think some of you have kind of gone askew with that. You're looking at where's the light, and you're looking for a force. It's not. We'll go in and experience it in just a little bit, but it's there, and it's there for you to receive without doubting. Doubting is that thing the brain, the mind does, where you start asking all these questions, and what if, and why not, and am I worthy, am I making this up, am I going crazy, you know, the typical questions. And going beyond that is saying no more. I'm going to play with this. I'm going to be that light. I'm going to incorporate it and do something with it. But one of the important things that I'm really going to be stressing now, first of all, you got to let go of the doubt. And that's all you do. You don't struggle with it. Don't fight it. Doubt, be gone. That's it. I'm done with it. Be clear with yourself. I'm done with doubt. But don't then start doubting what you just said about doubt. You know, don't start this whole back and forth. You're done. Never more. That's why last month I wanted to bring in the Raven and the nevermore or no more. Done with doubt. You're going to feel the doubt coming up almost as a test to what we're talking about here today, almost as a test. And you have to be, I insist that you're bold enough and that you come to your genuine self and you say, no more. Doubt paints everything gray. And doubt takes away the energy. Doubt takes away the creativity. No more. You will be challenged with it. And I'm going to insist that you say no more or never more. That's it. It's going to roll far too fast this coming year, and particularly in the work that we're doing. There's a tremendous amount of light on the planet. It is fueled by your energy being communications, not a force. You've got this tremendous amount of imagination and light coming into the planet. That light, which you can look at from many different standpoints, from a scientific or a physics standpoint, light is a waveform and a particle. How is that? How is that even possible? Well, it's the nature of light and imagination. It doesn't have to be one thing or the other. It will change from being, this is on the physical level, it will change from being a particle to a light wave based on what? Consciousness, on what they call the observer, but what I call the being, you. It will change like that. It will go from a stream of particles, protons, and suddenly it will become a waveform. That's the amazing thing about light. There's really no other substance like that anywhere. And it's only occurring when light comes into this realm, into the 3D. In the non-physical dimensions, light is different. But once it gets to this realm, it has a dualistic, non-duality element to it. It's a contradiction in many ways. The important thing is that the light right now that's here will serve you as a waveform or as a particle. That very light is also the thing that can transform the reality. We got to get through this through Caldera. It can transform reality far, far, far faster than evolution itself. Evolution is very slow, very, very slow. Light can change it like that, beyond the dynamics of evolution. Light can change things, anything, physical, emotional, anything. Light can change that. So even if there is a science about something, science about action, reaction, science about gravity, for instance, science says that gravity pulls everything in. Not true at all. When light comes in, light can instantly change it without a lot of thinking, without science, without hocus pocus, without any other energy input. In other words, you don't need transformers and high voltage electricity to do some sort of alchemy. Light is the alchemy. All the rest of that with, incantations and fires and sulfur and all the rest of that was a joke. Light is the alchemy, and it can change anything, be it thought, be it matter, be it a void, emptiness, true emptiness. Light can change that. Light is not something that you can necessarily direct from your mind, your human mind. Light is directed, light is commanded from your imagination, because it is imagination. So with all that said, got to get over the doubts. Otherwise, it's going to really hurt, particularly this next year. You got to get over the doubt. What I'm asking, imploring, begging, and screaming at you to do, starting January 1st, you don't have to do it right now, is radical imagination. As humans, as Shaumbra, on a scale of 1 to 10 with imagination, sometimes you're way up there. Sometimes you'll hit a really good 5.5. Most of the time, 2 or 3. And it's the doubt. It's the doubt and other things, but it's primarily the doubt that keeps you from radical imagination. Remember, imagination is light, light is imagination. But when it comes to really imagining, an imagination that ultimately goes beyond the mind, and so I've been talking a lot lately about the metaphysics of the mind, because it's important to understand how the brain works, how the mind works, and how to go beyond. With this radical, a carefully chosen word, radical imagination is going to serve you. But holding back, little thinking, and sometimes you think you're imagining big. It's not. I'm sorry to say, it's not. There are, I'm having a lot of static here with my channeler. Wouldn't it be nice he gets paid to do a job that he just does it instead of complaining about it? And it's like, you have not even begun to imagine, is what I'm trying to say. You've not. You think about things a lot. You overly think about things. And you worry about things. And you doubt things. But I'm talking about radical imagination. Going where you've never gone before. I'm not talking about some LSD trip or anything like that. I'm talking about imagining huge, huge. When you do, I want you to feel into it for a moment. You're going to imagine huge. Not the word huge, but you're going to imagine way out there. And not your damn problems. That's where a lot of you go wrong, and that's why I can say you're on a good day if you're hitting about a 5.5 in the imagination level. You drag your problems into it. You imagine yourself going beyond your problems. And you imagine that all your problems are solved, and you're dragging your problems into your imagination. And therefore, you're super limiting it. And all you're wanting is your problems to be solved. I'll tell you how to solve your problems for $100. Go for it, Tad. I think you owe me anyway. It's very easy. And I'm getting, Calder's not liking all this. I take MasterCard. Visa. Gotcha. Jeez. No imagination. And I'm getting what clear, I guess you would call it. I'm getting clear. Drop your problems. I mean, really. We've talked about it before, and you still don't believe, but they're there because you like them. because you're getting something from them, drop them, you're going to have a really tough time if you carry them forward. There's no need for them. There's no need for all the poor wounded self. I know I'm not being compassionate at all. And you're still liking them. Just get over them. I mean, be bold and imagine big. But one of the reasons your imagination is limited is because you bring your problems into it. Okay, I'm going to imagine myself in this beautiful setting and everything's fine and I don't have money problems or partner problems and I don't have my biological family and I don't have that awful job and I don't have that shitty apartment. What does that energy feel like? You're dragging all that crap into it and your imagination is going to be very, very limited. In true imagining, you're not thinking. You're not doing a thought process. You're not trying to visualize things. True imagination, and we will be going more into this, I'm not just going to leave you hanging, but true imagination is, for lack of better words, it's nothing. Some of you experienced a little bit of that at the last gathering we did in Kona. It's nothing. Because the moment you start interjecting your thoughts and your mind into it, and just trying to visualize in your brain and your mind's eye, you're not really imagining, and not much anyway. You're kind of thinking a lot and daydreaming, but that's not imagining. In order to imagine, you go beyond all that into nothingness. And that's radical imagination. Radical imagination is not just imagining the perfect kumbaya world, or you as a hovering human or astral projection or teletransporting. Those are silly, really silly and immature. True imagination is going into nothing and then experiencing the next, what happens. And you haven't been so good at that. You're imagining how to get out of the shithole life that you might have created for yourself. Oh, Caldra hates me today. But I have to be bold and blunt. I really do, because here's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing all this light has come into this planet. It's kind of just hanging out, waiting to be used in a practical way. We got the, what you call the frequency, the vibration of the planet is like higher than ever before. We have a lot of stuff happening because of that. It's like we've energized everything on the planet, the good and the bad. It's all being energized right now. Everything's happening at breakneck speed. I'll talk about that in Pronos, but not because of AI, but AI is facilitating it. We have everything happening very, very fast, and there's no room anymore for the doubt, for the dragging old stuff, for the pity parties, for, oh, poor me, I have such a terrible life. You got 2 weeks to ask yourself, why did you create that terrible life then? And what do you want to do to change it? What are you going to do to drop the games? We've got so much to do, and it could be so incredibly beautiful and easy, but not if you're dragging the old stuff. So radical imagination. And it starts with nothing, but then you start applying it into your everyday life after you've experienced this, and you start thinking different, and therefore on a human level, even imagining different. You're not imagining, for instance, a better job. It's not about that. You're imagining your own joy. Maybe you're imagining now the relationship with your light body, but you're not doing it you're not imagining just rudimentary human things. So let's do a little bit of radical imagination right now with some music. And we're going to be coming back and revisiting it, so it's not just a one-off deal here. You already know that there's so much more out there. Well, out there, that's not even a true statement. It's right here. there's so much more. You know that. I think you intuitively know that what you call the past and the future are right here. It's just a matter of perspective. You're looking at what you call the now, but also the past and the future are right here. Take a good deep breath. The next step is this radical imagination. When that happens, what you are doing is summoning up, commanding your energy and your light, but not based on doubt or fear, not based on issues in your life. You're summoning it up as a true master. You're not summoning it up just for a little bit of material gain, certainly not power. You're summoning it up for the transformation that it can create, for the experience of it, and to finally, once and for all, to connect all the dots, all the parts and pieces of your entire journey, coming to this planet, and ultimately being the true master of light, of imagination, being that magi. On a very, very personal basis, not to inflict on others, not to do parlor games or have your own TV show with the mighty magician, anything like that, but for yourself, to finally experience. And as I pointed out in Kihak earlier today, what this means, the transformative nature of light, what this means ultimately will be the bringing together of energy and consciousness. There has to be that understanding of light, how you command it, how you work with it. It is your light, by the way. Remember that always, it's yours. And yes, you can command it. I suggest commanding it. Taking responsibility, taking charge, not just thinking it's somebody else's or somebody else is going to do it for you. But back to radical imagination. There are true metaphysics in this, and it has to do with the very nature of light and its ability to transform a reality that would defy the laws of human nature that you know right now. Laws of human nature work in a certain way. For instance, gravity, it's just like this. Light can transform anything. When Jamie talks about year 2033, 2034, right around the corner, he's talking about this massive transformation on the planet. It's almost unimaginable because that cannot possibly happen in 8, 9 years, 7 years? Cannot possibly. Because things move too slow. There's a progression. There's a natural unfolding. There are systems in place that could not respond that quickly. However, when you understand the true nature of imagination and light, oh yes, it can. Anything can happen. There's a definite metaphysics in it. If light can change from particle to waveform in an instant based on the consciousness of the being, of the observer, light can do anything. Jimmy talked about going through something he called the photon belt, the light belt. It's not a necessarily physical thing. It's not hanging out there, out in your outer space in the universe. It's a shift that occurs. Jamie talked about the the shift that would occur, and half the planet waking up one morning and it's a different place. But they're not shocked. There wasn't trauma. There wasn't some catastrophic event that had to take place. The light shifted it. And it shifted it so well that it didn't create a lot of questions. Or what the hell happened? It's just like, oh, okay, this is where we're at now. It's the same for those who happen to wake up that morning and they're still on the old earth. They're still in a place filled with war and inequities. The light shifted it for them too. Let's take a deep breath into radical imagination, where you let go of everything. And we go into nothing. Caught you. The mind doesn't like this. The mind is like, it's its cue, to start playing, to start talking. Nothing. What is nothing? Where is nothing? Can there be nothing? Can I possibly have nothing in my brain? That's where you take a deep breath and go into the and. Let the mind do its thing, chatting away, and we go into the and. Nothing. And in that nothing, in that no thing, and we've been talking about this for years, in that no thing, is that next thing. See, nothing simply means the brain can't comprehend it anymore. It's out of its league, and that's fine. Let's go into the and into the no thing. And you see, it's kind of a joke, because there is no thing such as no thing. First of all, from a metaphysical standpoint, consciousness is always present, but consciousness is a no thing. I mean, it doesn't have a size or a shape or a name or an intensity level. It is simply awareness. It doesn't have a color. It doesn't reside somewhere off in the galaxies. But yet, in this no thing of consciousness, it's everything. This is where you go to imagine. Leaving behind your everyday problems. Leaving behind your self-imposed limitations. Underline that, please, Gail. Self-imposed limitations. You leave that all behind. You're not going there to repair damages. No, we go into the no thing for no thing at all. And yes, there's part of you that it's the and part. Might be doubting, might be falling asleep, coughing, whatever it's doing, distractions. But we go into the and. We go into the no thing. Take a deep breath. And how do you get there? You just allow it. That's it. I'm there. I'm in no thing. You're going to hear chatter in your brain, but that's the and. So we'll push that off to the side for a moment. No thing. And in this no thing is that radical imagination. Let yourself enter into it. It's consciousness. It has potentials. Some would say you're entering into your soul. but it doesn't have all the human directives and words and rules, and you don't have to pay dues, you don't have to sign an oath, nothing like that. It's no thing. You just enter into it. That's it. You get to the point where you don't need to think through and struggle to get there. You are just in no thing. But yet, there's still awareness. In this no thing is still the I exist. And in this no thing are the deepest levels of imagination. Now, the human part would be tempted to say, oh, good, what can I imagine out here? All these colors, unimaginable wealth. I imagine myself as this eternal, beautiful being. But no, we're not going to do that. That's child's play. Here in the no thing of true imagination, you're not using your mind or your brain to try to visualize. You leave that all behind. And what you do now is just take a deep breath. And let it come to you. There's no force or effort, no having to conjure up thoughts or images in your mind. Radical imagination is entering into no thing. And in this space of no thing, you realize it's everything. Maybe not defined, easily defined by the human mind, and that's fine. We are going beyond that. In this space of no thing, feel for a moment, it's everything. And here again, the human mind might be trying to interject thoughts, concepts, images. That's fine. Put it over in the other side of and allow yourself to be in this no thing. That is all things, beyond what the human mind could have ever imagined. Even beyond words like joy or beauty, beyond happy, content, any of those words, out here in this no thing, so far beyond that, it's so radical. It's almost indescribable, and that's fine, because here, it's just about sensing. So take a deep breath. You've been here before. This is not new. You've been here in this no thing many times. But you haven't done it consciously in your human waking state. This no thing is like home. There's no action here. In other words, there's not a lot of swirling colors and lights, but your mind may comprehend it that way. It's fine. But in this space is consciousness and potentials. In the space of no thing. This is radical imagination. Radical because you're not trying to force thoughts or ideas or visuals. You're just here in awareness in the space. There's nothing to fear here. There's nothing here that can hurt you or harm you in any way. It's the space of true imagination. It's the space of all the potentials that could ever be, that haven't been acted out yet, therefore they're not defined, they're not in books or movies or anything like that out here. It's all raw potential. Take a deep breath in no thing. It's radical imagination. To go here without agenda, without even trying for healing or trying to visualize a better human life. Radical imagination, you don't need to do those things. That's why I say you haven't been very good at imagining, because you put attachments on it. Emotional attachments, but attachments of what your human desires, but here in this no thing, there's no attachments. There's no healing that's done here. It's simply a place of no thing, yet all that is. It's radical because few would ever expect to go to a place like this in the imagination. It's radical because you're not dragging fears and doubts, agendas, desired outcomes, any of that here. It's so radical. No agenda, no desired outcome. No desired outcome. You're not going here for answers. You're not going here for solutions. You're going here because this is, well, your light. The light that will eventually make its way back to you as a human on this planet. A light that then you will learn to utilize like your own lightsaber, not to chop other people apart, but to affect what you truly desire. What we're doing here right now is connecting those dots from the levels of no thing to the levels of your human on this planet. And while you're here in no thing and also sitting as a human, take a deep breath. And remember again, you're in the no thing, in the radical imagination, where you're not limiting yourself to what would be a desired outcome. You're wide open. You're in this realm and you're here as a human. And now, on both levels, simultaneously, take a deep breath and let it come to you. Both levels, human and in the no thing, the radical imagination, let it come to you. You say, well, let what come to me? That's it. You don't have to define it. That's it. Let it come to you. So, well, what? I mean, energy, people, intelligence. No. Shh. Let it come to you. You don't have to worry about what it is. It's absolutely appropriate, congruent, tailored to you. And this is radical imagination and practical realization. Take a deep breath on both levels in this state of no thing, your imagination, your light. And now in the state of being the human, sitting here watching this, participating in it, let it come to you. Receive it. With such a radical imagination, you don't have to define it. Let it come to you. This is the metaphysics of light, how it works. Starting in the great, great imagination that I refer to as the no thing, because it would be incomprehensible to the human mind. So it becomes a no thing, but yet it's there. And then bridging it as you're human here. Let it come to you. And here's where that element of trust enters in, or on the negative side, the element of doubt. You say, well, what's coming in? What am I calling forth? Shh. Doubt not what you bring, what you call, what you receive. The human could have never really imagined. The human would have limited it. The human would have stayed within, I talk a lot about the story of the land of blue. The human would have stayed in blue. But what comes can be so much more. Radical imagination really is no mental exertion whatsoever. Not trying to conjure up images in your brain. It is going into these levels of imagination and light that are currently incomprehensible. And simply letting it come to you. That's radical imagination. What happens now is that light, which is imagination, that light, it doesn't have the limits on it now when it enters into this realm. It will still react as a particle or a waveform depending on what's needed at the moment. But there's another component to the light now. There's the waveform element. There's the particle element. And now what I would call the creator element. It's neither particle nor waveform. It is the dynamic of light connected with your energy now that allows true creation. unimaginable before, because the imagination was limited to, well, the mind. It was limited to your story. So if we apply this whole concept now of the radical imagination to you, your story, to the light that is bringing forth your story on this planet, and we apply all these physics now, with the imagination, the radical imagination. I want you to feel your story for a moment. In the limited spectrum of light that you've been using to create and to justify your story. In the days when you've thought, well, I can affect my story to a degree, a little bit here, a little bit there, I can make some progress, changing a little here and now. Suddenly now, that light allows the total change of the story in a way the human mind could have never imagined. You could say a transformation beyond anything you could have thought of. But a transformation that ties back to the greatest of your imagination, the greatest of your light. Let it come to you without fear. How could you have fear of something that's your own energy, your own light? Let it come to you. No limits. This next year is going to be a great one for the planet. It's going to be a challenging one on so many different levels, challenging for people, and you're going to see a kind of a great, kind of a paradox in things, a great almost duality like it's never been before. Those who are managing it, working with it, those who are being crushed by it. You're going to be operating on a whole different level. Not on either one of those old levels. You're not going to be following the human pathway. You're not going to be following the part that's crushing. It's going to be a year of elevation. You can't bring along the crap. You can't. And we'll come back to this throughout the sessions, the year. Radical imagination, like you've never imagined before. That changes it changes the way you utilize light and energy on this planet. Let's take a good deep breath together. Let it come to you now. Both you in the no thing, in the great, great imagination, and you as a human. Let it come to you simultaneously. And as it does, feel there's an innate balance in it. Feel that balance. You know, when a human tries to push their imagination by themselves through the mind, it becomes imbalanced in a lot of cases. In the case of a lot of great artists, creative beings. But when you're approaching it now here from the no thing, the great imagination of the I am, and simultaneously as a human, the balance, the integrity, the authenticity stay. You don't have to worry about going out of your mind. Let's take a good deep breath together. Good deep breath together. We'll come back. We'll come back and discuss this more, so you start to feel very, very comfortable with it. But just feel that within yourself right now. Radical imagination. Not just more of the same, not just trying to visualize things on a different level. You're going to hit a ceiling if you do try to do that going through your brain. But what it is letting yourself go to that no thing. And you find out it's not no thing, it's everything. Let's take a good deep breath as we bring this year to a close. Just real quickly, good year, bad year, rough year? Anybody? Jerry? Good year. Good year? Anybody? Good year? Anybody really shitty, crappy year? Challenging? Okay. Fun? Yes. Yeah? A lot of changes? Okay. Let's breathe that in as we go into our new year. Make sure to take care of yourself as we bring this year to a close. Take care of yourself. Do a lot of breathing. Stay away from annoying people. All right, be alone all the time if you have to. With that, let's take a deep breath and feel into using this radical imagination. Feel into when I say, all is well in all of creation. Thank you. Blessings and happy holidays.
And so it is. With that, please take a couple more deep breaths, feeling into all these potentials that Adamus has put to us, feeling into your radical imagination. Take that good deep breath, feeling that we've finished another grand year with more in front of us. Breathe into all that you are. Thank you for being a part of this very special Shout 3. We'll be back next year. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.